Welcome back to Fourth
Sup?
Citizen.
Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, how rude. So, welcome back to
Welcome,
Fourth
welcome.
Citizen. In today's conversation and video, we are going to be talking about gear, and not necessarily just gear, but what we've learned about gear in making our videos.
And what really grinds our gears.
Everything grinds my gears.
Just kidding.
But, before we get into it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely help us out. Hit that notification bell. Did it a little bit too early, but it's okay.
They know what I meant.
So yeah, I mean, this video is more about what we've learned so far in terms of gear and, kind of the gear that we have and what we've expanded on. Let's just get into it. And actually, full disclosure, you don't need everything that we have in here to make your own YouTube videos. Like, you can do it on your phone. You can,
But you need it to be as successful as we are. See, our most recent video has a whole 7 views. So if you want to get that many views, you gotta have all this gear.
oh, big guy.
I'm kidding. You don't need any of this.
Yeah, so that being said, after that intro, just our gear, what we've learned about it. So we started off with the church microphones, right? And
We did. Yeah.
church cable, the XLRs. You don't necessarily need to go the route that we did. Or the way that we kind of did it is we have a audio recording software. We record the mics, goes into an interface, which is down here, and then record the audio separately and the video separately and just sync it in post. You don't need that, but for us, we feel that it's more, the quality is better when we do it that way, rather than going based on just the microphone in the camera, which is not that great,
Yeah.
or having the Rode little mic that I have too.
Yeah.
It just sounds
Which
better.
Usually, that you can get away with that if the camera is a lot closer to you.
Yeah.
But with our setup, I kid you not, the camera where it's at right now is literally about 10 feet away from us.
Yeah.
So at that distance, it would just sound horrible. But I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah.
even mic wise, I mean, you have different options as well. I mean, we have this kind of setup, which is kind of more of a podcast kind
Yeah.
of feel. Whereas the other option would be a lapel mic that you can also buy, which again, they're not even that expensive. You can get some for $20-30 off of Amazon.
Yeah.
And then option 3 would have a shotgun mic. So you actually have a mic, a boom mic off frame. I'm doing a hand sign and you can't even see it because it's off frame. And then you have the mic up here and you just don't see the mic anywhere, but the audio quality is good.
And for us, I don't think that the boom wouldn't really work all that great. Same as how the camera mic won't work for us, because the room that we're in, the acoustics aren't that great. So
it
when
feels like a hall. It sounds like
yeah.
a hall.
So when we've had the mic on the camera, you just hear a bunch of echo, and then we tried a condenser mic once, and that had a lot of echo.
Which is worse.
So
it's a lot more sensitive to sound.
This just eliminates the problem since it's a dynamic microphone. And like we mentioned, you don't need all this equipment. The reason why we have it is mainly because for our church we use this type of equipment. So we use microphones, we use XLRs, we use quarter inches. So these are kind of things that we already have,
and we're familiar with already. So we kind of use that as just to kind of help up the quality and what we can do.
Yeah. So to us that's better for what we're doing, the podcast style. But even a lapel mic would work great because it's close. Aside from that, what else do we have? The laptop, but I've already had this laptop, so it's not like I went out and bought a laptop for the YouTube channel. That would have been expensive.
Yeah, I think that the other thing is probably that thing right there, the camera.
So
that camera,
the thing that they're looking at.
yeah, the thing you're looking through, your eyes.
There you go.
The eyes that you have, we purchased those a long time ago. No, so that camera that we're using, which is in this case is a Nikon, is actually your camera that you purchased 3-4 years ago?
I'd say probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Probably a year after you did.
I did.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I convinced him to get a Nikon at that time, mainly because we're hey, we can get different lenses and we can kind of Funny thing is that when he bought a new lens, I bought the same one. It just didn't make sense. But honestly, this deep into this channel, which is 3 months in, not even that deep, and looking at things, at videos and tutorials, I think we're actually going to be making the switch to Canon.
Yeah. Well, we've been looking at Canon and Sony, but for the price and like the quality, I think Canon is probably the best bet.
Yeah.
We wouldn't really recommend Nikon, I think.
Yeah. Nikon's, I mean,
it's okay.
Thank you
it's
for
getting
everything you've done thus far.
It's getting the job done, but like the autofocus isn't that great, so we just do manual focus and keep it there. I don't know. The autofocus kind of
also just the color grading and the sensors that they have is just so much more. Canons, I mean, are a lot more forgiving, and they're a lot more just a blast. And you know, there's so much the range that they have, and they're a lot more forgiving. When I was saying that is to like the lights that you're using, versus Nikon kind of tends to be a bit more sensitive to, oh, if that's not a good light, I'm gonna flicker, make it look like it's flickering and things of that sort. So there's a lot that we have learned just since we started by setting these cameras up. We're like, oh, this doesn't look that great. This doesn't look that great. Even our light right here that we have, you know, like certain positionings, like so it looks halfway decent, at least the best we can do.
Well, even like while we were setting up, it took us probably like 10 to 15 minutes just to get the light where we have it now. Like we started here, we started there, we put it here and then there, and then this like was probably what worked best for us.
It's like this is probably as good as it's gonna get. So I mean, even like understanding that is something that we've learned in the last 3 months. Is lighting is everything. I mean, the lighting is a huge chunk of how your video is going to look. I could just be in a room with the lights on, and you know, and that's what I can start with. That's what I can start with. That's fine. But again, the gear that we have, this ring light that we have shining down like here, like if it was, you know, the voice of God, you know, it's all stuff that we already had. This light that we have back here, again, it's something we purchased years ago that we had laying around as well. So start with what you have, but this is the stuff that we've kind of began using as gear for our channel. So.
Yeah. We started with the church mics and the cables, but you know, we wanted to have our own stuff too. So we ended up buying these mics, the cables,
and this little telescopic boom thing as well.
$20 on Amazon if you don't, you know what I mean?
Not bad.
Amazon Prime. Hello.
And you get it tomorrow.
Yes.
No, that's Walmart Plus, bro. Actually, it's 2 days.
That's true. 2 days. Anyway,
not a sponsor.
Not at all. With our 7 views.
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah, I mean, this is what we have and what kind of we started with, even though we're only 3 months in. But you know, kind of go as we want to go as far as saying, you know, you don't need all this. There's people who just use their camera and have like the the Rode mic, and it works perfectly fine, and they're making way better videos than we are. So. It's not about the gear, but we did want to talk about what we've learned, so you know, people can learn about what they have or where they're starting at and where they can be too.
Yeah. So another thing too is you also see us wearing headphones.
Yes.
And that's mainly because we're recording audio separately. We want to make sure we always have signal going through.
Yeah.
Because if out of nowhere we didn't have these headphones and the audio stopped working and we just kept still talking away and you know this and that. And then we realized we weren't recording, you know, things of that sort. So we have that also just to kind of self-check, and then also to make sure we can hear each other. So it's not like we're listening to music while we're talking.
Yeah, just listen to rap. Yeah, so we're not just listening to music, although that would be pretty cool. But, I mean, we use it to make sure that our audio is playing since we're recording it separately, because so much can go wrong if you're doing it separately. And it's kind of already, in a way, happened to us already in a previous video where we didn't have the headphones and one mic was way lower than the other and we couldn't fix it because we didn't have them on. We didn't even know until in post. And then even if I tried to raise it up, then it was just it didn't work as great. So having the headphones, if you're you know, recording separately, definitely helps.
And this is assuming you don't have an audio guy off screen to do that for you.
Exactly.
So we don't have staff or a team or anything like that. It's just us two. So I mean, other channels get away with it because they actually have other personnel.
They have a sound guy, or
you know, a sound guy. They have a camera people and things like that. So when you're doing it on your own, you also want to make sure that there's a way for you to check on yourself. Which another thing that we have, which you can't see, is behind our camera, we actually have a TV.
ATV.
And that TV also has, it's showing us like a monitor of what the camera is doing and where we're at. So we're still improving, but we will sometimes look at the TV instead of looking at the camera.
Yeah.
So we do apologize because we're.
I mean, even now, I kind of catch myself looking at the monitor behind the camera.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh wait, got to look at the camera. So then I go back to the camera. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, which would be in the description, you probably don't know what we're talking about.
Join us.
Look it up on YouTube and then see it. But you're only listening, so yeah. That definitely helps having that because you can kind of see each other. But again, that is not necessary because a lot of cameras have that flip out screen, which my camera does. But since that camera is so far away, there's no point in pulling it out because it's so small. Yeah, and then I don't have my glasses on, so can't see the screen. I can see that big TV though, but.
So, and again, we do that because we don't have a camera guy. So we want to make sure that we're recording. So the way we do that is we have a HDMI to the TV, and we can see that visual of, it's still recording, how much time we have left. And again, because we're doing everything in post. We're doing our video and our audio separate, and then in post we marry them, and then we produce the video. And
it is time consuming to do both, but the end product I think I'm happy with.
Yeah.
At the end, so
I'm glad you're happy with it.
Thank you. I don't care about what you think, so
I'm happy with it too. He does such a good job.
Yes. Employee of the month.
Yes. Maybe I'll consider you next month.
Ooh. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I feel that the end product is good because we have, pretty good quality video, pretty good quality audio. So it's like kind of works hand in hand. Yeah. Now we gotta fix our content, make sure it's good. Make sure people like it.
Which again, that has to do with the algorithm and everything that we're doing. Which if you have missed that video, go ahead and click that little thing right here, which will take you right to that video, because we talk about the algorithm and things that we've learned in the last 3 months regarding that, and it has a lot to do with content. So check it out.
So, anything else that you want to add, or what other gear do you think we need to mention?
So the other thing too that I wanted to mention is just our setup. So again, we have set up, if you've watched some of our videos, we have a table and we're looking right at you. Some other episodes we're looking at each other. And then this one, again, is a new setup that we're doing, which is a diagonal kind of thing where I can kind of just look at him or I can look at you. And I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah.
But again, your setup can be whatever you want it to be. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he started a YouTube channel as well. He likes being behind a desk. He likes the way that looks. Whereas other people like the vlog feel. So, I mean, you can probably be going about your day and you just have a camera following you. Yeah. There's just so many options that you have. And just find what you feel comfortable with and what you feel is working for you. Yeah. But we have tried different things in this channel because we're trying to see what works best for us and what we feel is working.
And at this point, we work with what we have. So we bought these arms. So we kind of eliminated the possibility of like doing the stand up in front of the camera, because then we have to clamp this onto something because that's where our mic is at. Yeah. So, just think about how you want it. I mean, we initially got this because we want to do like podcast style, and that's what we've been doing. But in the future, if you wanted to do like a video of us just in front of the camera, we kind of have to find a way to set everything up. But I mean, this is, again, what's working for us. You just need to kind of see what works for you, for your channel, if you want to create one. And if you do want to create a channel and have questions, let us know, and we'll get into it with you. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about different options, what cameras, mics, or whatever. Because they even sell like USB mics, so you just connect to your laptop.
That's true.
So,
and then you don't need the interface that we have, which basically converts an audio XLR signal to USB. Yep. And that goes into the laptop. So you can get away with, and the cameras too. They have cameras that are like webcams or other cameras that, again, have a very simple USB plug-in, and you can avoid all of this. So again, it's a bit more complicated than it needs to be, but it is not as sophisticated as other channels have it. So we're kind of at a good kind of middle ground. Yeah. So if you want help in getting your gear set up, or if you need help in trying to see what can you use, what can you not use, definitely let us know, and we can definitely help you and at least point you in the right direction. It's not like we're going to loan you money. but we
We
can let
won't.
you know what you can do.
We don't have it. So,
You know, or even on top of that, I mean, if you need help, maybe looking at used equipment is always great too.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I'm gonna refer. It's not always great, you know, but it's an option that you should look into as well.
yeah.
So thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to hit that like button. If you have not yet subscribed, hit subscribe while you're there.
Please.
It's right next to it, so just go ahead and do it. And then right next to that, there's a bell that you can hit, which
And
you can be
it's all
notified.
free.
And it's all free. You can do it at no cost. There is no monthly rate. And when you hit that bell, you'll get a beautiful sound that sounds like this. Try it. I dare you. You'll hear it.
Try it.
You'll hear it.
If you don't hear it, don't unclick it though. Just leave
Yeah.
it, please.
If you don't hear it, it's because you haven't gone to our other videos and liked them. That's probably what the problem is.
That's exactly what it is.
So get that done, and then let us know if there's anything else you'd like for us to share. Sounds good? Awesome. All right, guys.
Peace.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.